In Skills and Strategies 1, you're going to learn about identifying main ideas. So before you take a look at the exercises in your textbook, I want to review main ideas with you. First of all, what is a main idea? A main idea is the most important idea in a reading, a paragraph, an essay, a video, an article, whatever it is. It's what the author is trying to get you to focus on and learn about. The main idea has two parts. The main idea always has a topic, which is the general subject of what the reading or the paragraph is about. And there's also always a controlling idea. This is what the author has to say about the topic. What does the author want you to learn about the topic? What is the author's opinion about the topic? This is going to be the controlling idea. And a good main idea always has both. A good main idea avoids some of these problems. So one problem that you might have with a main idea is that it's too big. Think of your main idea like an umbrella. The umbrella covers a person just like the main idea covers the reading. But if you have an umbrella that's too big, for example, if you have a main idea that covers more information than what is in the text or the paragraph, if you have so much information that could fit under your main idea that you could write a book, that main idea is too big. It's like the umbrella that's too big. I mean, imagine if you had an umbrella that was the size of the umbrellas you see on patio tables. You wouldn't be able to carry it. You'd tip over. You'd get wet. So you don't want your paragraph to get wet. You want your paragraph to stay dry. And a main idea that's too big is like an umbrella that's too big. You're not going to stay dry. Another problem with main ideas is when they are too small. A main idea that's too small doesn't cover enough of the information in the text or paragraph. It's way too specific. It might be a small detail or a fact, some kind of statistic, an example, and the rest of the information in the paragraph might not be covered by that small piece of information. It's like an umbrella that's too small. You might cover part of it, like you might cover part of yourself and part of you might stay dry, but the rest of you is gonna get wet. So you don't want that to happen. You don't want to get wet. You don't want an umbrella that's too small. A third problem with main ideas is when the main idea is missing information or has wrong information. The main idea might cover some of the paragraph, but is missing key information. Or it might actually be wrong according to the passage. This is something to keep in mind when you're doing exercises or when you have exams that ask you to look for the main idea or identify the main idea. Some of the answer choices might actually be incorrect according to the passage. So think about that as an umbrella, right? If you have an umbrella that's missing some pieces, if there's holes or tears in your umbrella, you're going to get wet. In other words, it's not going to cover you completely, just like a main idea with missing or wrong information is not going to cover all of your paragraph. So a main idea that's just right. It's going to be the right size for the paragraph, not too big, not too small. Everything in the paragraph will connect to this idea. It's not too broad. In other words, it's not an umbrella that's too big, and it's not too specific. It's not an umbrella that's too small. So when you have a main idea that's just right, you stay dry. Just like when you have an umbrella that's just right, you don't get wet. So how can you identify? In other words, what are some strategies that you can use to find the main idea? Look in the first sentence or two. But be careful of background information. Sometimes the writer will give a sentence or two of background information or a hook, and the main idea might come a little bit later in the paragraph, but it's usually the first sentence or maybe the second sentence. Do other sentences support the main idea? Look at the supporting details. Supporting details are going to be things that are much more specific. Examples, facts, statistics, maybe anecdotes or stories. And do they all connect to one central idea? Is there one idea that links everything together? All of those supporting pieces of information, those facts, those explanations, those statistics, do they all connect to one thing? Look at the last sentence of the paragraph too. A lot of times authors will repeat their main idea at the end of a paragraph or at the end of a text. So that's another good place to look for the main idea of a paragraph. If you have any questions, you can post to the questions asked and answered discussion board or send me an email. Otherwise, go to your textbook and try the skill practice exercises. When you're done, you can check the answer key. And if there's anything that doesn't make sense in the answer key, then you can ask me questions in the questions asked and answered discussion board or email me. Good luck with this skills and strategies.